we will talk about hypotheses versus theories. Hypotheses are proposed explanation for a narrow set of phenomena. Those reason explanations are not just guesses. They are usually based on prior experience, scientific background, knowledge, preliminary observation, and logic. For example, scientists observed the alpine butterflies in the Alps, on the high altitude where snow could be and cold. And he found that this alpine butterfly exhibit characteristic colors intermediate between two other species that live in the low elevation. This gives them green color, and this on low elevation gives them yellow stripes in here. So based on this observation and understanding of speciation, this is special process in the biology, these scientists create hypotheses that these species of alpine butterfly evolve as a result of hybridization. So it means some individual from this population of the butterfly was bred together with some species from this population, and they give rise of this new population. And this was just first hypothesis. Then the scientist, he took few butterflies from this population, and they was living in the lab together, and they never produced anything even close to this population of the alpine butterflies. So after this scientist proposed different hypothesis, second hypothesis. So he found that butterfly on the low elevation have lighter color compared to the alpine population of the butterfly. And he think about that, and he say, oh, it's probably that natural selection in here or evolution was for the heat absorption. So for example, if outside very, very hot, people usually dress in the light color clothes because it will reject heat from the sun, and because of this they will be cooler. Same with the butterflies. And if in the winter, it doesn't matter, a person can have opposite darker clothes to become kind of warmer, to absorb heat. So butterflies in alpines and high altitude, they have dark color. And when scientists check the body temperature, he found that yes, this is actually correct, because alpine butterfly, they living in the colder environment, they are darker, and it helps their body to have higher temperature so they can survive. And butterfly on the low elevation, they have lighter color because they don't need too much heat, because on low elevation it's warmer, so they have opposite lighter color. So second hypothesis was correct in this case. So overall, theories are broad and tested explanation for a wide range of the phenomena. For example, theory of the evolution. A theory is always backed by the evidence, such as experiments, observation, and it's usually not just one experiment or observation. It's different type of the experiments which all have evidence that this particular theory is correct. In fact, theories often integrate and generalize many hypotheses. Accepted theories are not tenuous and could be changed. So sometimes when we have theory, it's not permanent. It could be changed or over time when people have new methods and perform new experiments. So after this, what theory before was accepted. Now with new data, maybe which was produced by the new methods, this theory now not current and will be modified. For example, the theory of the natural selection broadly applies to all population with some form of the inheritance, variation, and differentiation reproductive success. Whether population is composed of alpine butterflies, fruit flies on tropical island, or new form of life discovered on Mars, or even bits in the computer's memory, this theory helps us understand a wide range of observation, from the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria to the physical match between pollinators and their preferred flowers. So this makes predictions in new situations. For example, that treating AIDS patients with cocktail of medication should slow the evolution of virus, and has proven itself time and time again in thousands of experiment and observation studies. Classical example of the natural selection is known as a Darwin moth. So this is on this image, you can see below two moths, and one in here and second in here, and they call Darwin's moth. So these moths like to sit on and hide from the predator, birds different, on this bark of this white birch tree. And because of this, the population of this moth matches the color of these trees, bark of this tree. So first, when they was counting, first kind of count, it was during heavy industrial pollution in the UK, and during this time, these birch trees, this was become very dark because of this, because more pollution in the air, and it's going sit on this like layer on the trees, so they become more dark color. So when they first counting this, they found that it was more dark color moths compared to the white, lighter color. But after decades and different regulation about air pollution, it's all changed. And when they count again later on, they found that it was more light colored moths compared to the dark one. So all this adaptation, and it's all this is natural selection how it's work. So the easy it's hide, if color help to hide from the predators, the more this is type of the coloration individual will be in the population. So this is why it's called like established Darwin moths, because how the population of this moths adapt over time during different conditions, when it was heavy industrial pollution, when it was cleaner air and lighter trees. So in this table you can see comparison between hypotheses and theories. So if we look on the definition, we will see that hypotheses are suggested explanation for some observable phenomenon or prediction of possible causes correlated among multiple phenomena. And theory is a proven explanation for set of this phenomenon, and theory is verified and proven as a hypothesis. So also if we compare against this, we will see that hypothesis based on the suggestion, possibility, projection, or prediction, but the result is not clear. In the theories, it's based on the certainly evidence verification, repeatable, testable. They both, hypothesis and theory, testable, and they both falsifiable data. So when we talk about hypothesis, data usually based on very limited data because it's usually about some one experiment kind of. And theory is opposite. So data based on the very wide set of data that was tested under various circumstances. So it was theory based on not one experiment, we can say, but very wide range, different type. So hypotheses, again, they based on the very specific observation, some kind of, and limited. And theories, they more general principles, and they was observed through the multiple tests and experimentation. To be accepted by the scientific community, a theory must be strongly supported by the many different lines of the evidence. So again, it's more wide kind of, yes. So biological evolution is a theory because it is well supported, widely accepted, and very powerful explanation for the diversity of life on the earth. But it's not just a theory. So when we're talking about evolutionary theory, atomic theory, gravity, plate tectonics, so it's all example of the theories which have been broadly supported by the multiple line of the evidence, and overall it helped to frame our understanding of the world around us. So this is like very large basic theories. So one of the misconceptions, if evidence supports the hypothesis, it's upgraded to the theory. So correction for this, hypothesis cannot become theories. Hypotheses and theories, they all scientific explanation, but they are differ in the breadth, not in the level of the support. So they both scientific, based on the scientific knowledge, but hypothesis more limited to one specific observation, for example, and theory is based on the different type variety of the experimentation. Theories apply to broader range of phenomena than do hypotheses.